Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I'm going to do the Filmtastic February Book Tag. Melodie at Melodie's Book Nook did this tag, and she tagged anyone watching her video. I repeat what Melodie said to properly credit the creator of this tag. Original creator of this tag, back away from the donkey. There are 9 questions in this tag. I should say that I haven't in recent years watched many movies. The last time I was in a theater was late in 2023, and that was to see the Taylor Swift movie, which is not a scripted movie. Last scripted movie I saw was in February 2023, and that was the Puss in Boots movie. So it's been a long time since I've been in the theater. A year or two ago I did watch Opera on Amazon Prime, and I do every Halloween try to watch certain movies, but I say that because some of these questions I'm not going to be able to answer. The first question is, your first memory of seeing the film at the cinema? The first film I recall seeing at the cinema is Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. In the mid-60s, I went with my father to a theater in a town next to our town. It was off the main street. I'm sure it's gone many decades now, so I could never find it, but looking at the history of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, I suspect it wasn't the Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea movie because I saw that came out in 1961. It was probably an episode or two from the series. The series ran from 1964 to 1968. I love the series. But that was my first memory of seeing a movie, going with my father to see Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. The second question is a book about film. It can be behind the scenes, an autobiography, a work of fiction, includes film as a main subject, etc. That book is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book gives a long history of Evelyn Hugo, who was a longtime successful actress. It was a 5-star read for me and the start of reading Taylor Jenkins Reid. Really good book. I highly recommend it. The third question is a novelization or tie-in book. I don't have any answer for this. In the distant past, I did read novelizations of movies where the novel was written off the script of the movie, and I did enjoy them, but I don't remember any of them now that I read. The fourth question is a film about writers or writing. That film is Tolkien. I really can't remember anything about it now. I saw it a few years ago. It was obviously a movie about the life of J.R.R. Tolkien. Do remember liking it, I just don't remember any details. The fifth question is a film that brings back fond memories. That would be Ghostbusters, the first movie. I remember I went to see it in 1984 when it was initially released at a local mall. I went with my 2 aunts and my mother, possibly my sister. Loved the movie, seen it several times afterwards. Just a very funny movie, very enjoyable movie. There's not too many movies I can think, well, geez, in say 1990 I went to see this movie, but I just remember 1984 going to see Ghostbusters. The sixth question is a film that made you want to read the book. That is 5 Feet Apart. That movie was about a young man and a young woman who were in a treatment center. They both had cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a death sentence unless you're able to get a lung transplant. So they required people to stay 6 feet away from anyone else because if you got an infection in your lungs, then you became ineligible for a lung transplant. So this couple, the 2 protagonists, developed a romantic relationship. And to kind of, I guess, push the bounds a little bit, they approach each other 5 feet apart. And when I went to see the movie, I didn't know there was a novel of it, but I did get the novel afterward, and I really liked it. It's not normally my approach. I'm a book first then movie. I'm a believer that a movie can ruin the book because you learn stuff you would prefer not to know when you read a book, but that was an instance that I remember I got the novel, liked it. The 7th question is a book that made you want to watch the film. That book is Twilight. I love the book and I love the movie. Actually, I love the 4 books. I love the 5 movies. The 8th question is films based on a book story that bear no resemblance to the source. It's another question I have no answer to. I may well have seen a film and I thought that, boy, this just doesn't really reflect the book at all, but I cannot remember. Even though I haven't seen movies recently, hardly at all, in the last few years, over my lifetime I've seen lots and lots of movies, but nothing comes to mind to answer this question. The 9th question is recommend 5 films. Originally, when I saw this question, I was going to list major franchises that I would typically list for this one. Then I thought about it and I said, well, why don't I go a little deeper and think of movies that might not be such obvious choices. Not that the movies I'm listing are these highly critical independent films that a cult of people love, that a core of people love, but they don't really have all that many people watching them. All the movies I mentioned, a fair amount of people have seen them, but they're not like the huge franchises. So the movies, the first movie is Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Now certainly Star Trek is a pretty big franchise, but this movie goes way back to the 80s. It's the original crew of the Enterprise. It's the original Enterprise. They go back to current times as the movies, which was the 80s. A lot of great scenes in it, a really good movie. Of the early Star Trek movies, my favorite. Maybe of all the Star Trek movies, my favorite. I haven't seen them recently, but I've seen a fair amount of them. The second movie is Purple Rain. This is a part concert movie. Great performances of the songs of Purple Rain by Prince. Part drama. Just a really good movie, but the centerpiece is seeing the performances of the songs from Purple Rain. That's just a great album. Great songs. The third movie is Predator, the original version with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger led a group of soldiers that traveled to the South American jungle. I think their purpose was to retrieve something that went down there, but they gradually realized that they were being hunted by something, and it wasn't a earthly creature. Just a really good suspenseful movie. Very claustrophobic in the jungle. You didn't know who was going to be attacked next, or who was going to be killed and taken by the predator. I've watched it several times back in the day. The fourth movie I choose is The Birds. This is an Alfred Hitchcock movie. I think it came out in the 60s. First time I saw it, I didn't like it, but then after the time or two I saw it, I really did. What happens is that, I think it's set on Long Island, a bunch of birds just start attacking people for no reason. And it's people trying to get to safety, trying to survive the attacks. Very effective movie. I call it a horror movie. I don't know if they would call it, or a coworker referred to movies like this as a nature gone amok movie. But a very effective movie. Very, very scary, very tense. And the fifth and final movie I choose is Halloween. For me, Halloween's the greatest horror movie made. Made on a low budget. You see kind of things when you watch it that demonstrate that, but just a very effective movie, very scary. And to show how effective it is, like a lot of us remember it as more gory than it was. It's not really gory. It begat the whole slasher genre, I believe, but the movies that followed it were way more gory. The Halloween, even the movies in the later movies in the franchise, but just very effective, very scary movie. Remember seeing it in a second-run theater in a town not far from me, packed theater, just a really good movie. The final thing to do is tag others. First, I recognize that it is getting to the end of February, and I don't stand on those things, but I know some people do. So, for the people I say, if you want to answer one of the prompts in my comments, or you want to do a video of your own, please do so. Or I suppose hold it till next year, because as I said, I do recognize we're getting to the end of February, but I'm first going to tag anyone watching this video, and then I'm going to tag a bunch of people in the description of this video. Of course, no one ever has to do a tag. I never want anybody to think that I have that expectation, but I'm interested in people do them. I like to watch people's tags, and I like doing my own tags. If you can't think of anything else to comment, please add an emoji. Perhaps a bird emoji for the birds, or a knife emoji for Halloween, or an emoji of your choice. I hope you're having a wonderful reading week. I hope you're having a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.